Girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things beauty. Today we are gracing all of our presences with some mother packs. So I did pick up the new Divine Rose Luxe Quad in Eternal Eden, and I also picked up her new highlighter in the shade Divine Rose. I already have the Divine Rose 2 Mothership 8 palette, so we'll be talking about my thoughts about this palette and then doing some comparisons between the new Luxe Quad, the new highlighter with the highlighter that she released over the holiday. And that's about it, so stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for taking time and clicking on my video. I hope that you will consider subscribing to my channel, and let's just get right into this video. So in this particular collection, she relaunched the Mothership 8 palette, Divine Rose 2, in this beautiful pink packaging. I did pick this up last year when she initially launched it, and recently I did a ranking of all of my Mothership palettes, and if you saw that, you know I have a serious love for Mothership 8. This palette just, it gives me all of the pink goodness that I want. The formulation is immaculate. I've done a few tutorials with this palette, so I'll link all of that down below should you be interested in watching it and getting more details about how I feel about this palette. But I will say this: if you're contemplating picking this one up because you think you might like it, go ahead and pick it up. I'm just gonna say that. Now on to the new Luxe Quad. So this particular quad does retail for $58. This is the cartridge that it comes in, and it's so pretty. Mother does not disappoint when it comes to her cartridges. Did I say that right? Cartridges? Okay. Here is the outer packaging of the actual palette. This is the same type of packaging that she has with the Luxe Quads that she released over the holiday. It's not that gold luxe packaging that I prefer. I really wish she would come back with that. Then we have inside the actual new colors, and these are all new shades per Pat McGrath's website. I was happy to hear that. I love to get new palettes with new shades. So first we have Pink Mystique, which is going to be described as a light pink with a shimmering gold flash. This particular color is beautiful. It's probably one of my favorite colors in the palette. Then we have her creamy matte formula in the shade Temptation. She describes this as a muted matte magenta, and this matte color is so soft, blends very well. It's actually the color that I'm wearing on my cheeks. It's beautiful as a blush, especially in its formulation. We move on to Forbidden Fruit. This is a rich pink bronze metallic, and this color is really beautiful if you're able to use your finger to apply it. And I'll talk more about this actual formulation. It's not my favorite in the palette. The swatch, in my opinion, almost looks better than what is placed on the eye, and I'll describe a little bit later what I'm talking about it. And then lastly, we have Earthly Delight, which she describes as a mid-tone cool brown matte, and I think this shade is just beautiful. It's described as a cool brown matte, but I also think it pulls kind of mauvey, and I love shades like this. So all in all, I think the shade selection for this palette is really pretty. I think it also is a really good complementary palette to Divine Rose 8. Hopefully y'all can see both of them. If not, I'm sorry. When I was looking at both of these palettes, I was kind of like, are there any dupes? You know, are there any similar shades? And I really didn't find any similar shades across the board, which I was really happy about. The only shade that I thought might have been sort of similar is this shade right here, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll do a quick swatch for you. I wanted to know if it was similar to Forbidden Fruit. So we've got Forbidden Fruit right here. And in swatching that shade, it is definitely not similar at all in terms of its tone. And even in its formulation, I think the shade right here from the Divine Rose 8 palette is a lot smoother in texture, and it actually applies better on the eyelids in my opinion. But I do think this Luxe Quad is quite the complement to Divine Rose 8. Now onto the eye look that I did. So first I went in with Earthly Delight, and I will admit, I will say these two mattes blend out beautifully. Had no issue with them. Her creamy matte formula is really good in my opinion. Then I went in with Temptation right here, and use that to really just apply all over the lid. Once again, the formulation of it blended out really nicely. There is a lot of fallout with both of these mattes. I found it all over my shirt, all over my desktop, but fallout doesn't really bother me too much, so it wasn't a big deal. But I definitely wanted to make note of that, just in case you're somebody who is, you know, kind of concerned about fallout. Then I went in with Forbidden Fruit, and Forbidden Fruit, oof, I don't really like this metallic formulation, and here's why. So first I went in with my finger because I was like, okay, this is probably gonna be better applied with the finger. And I think if I didn't have nails, I probably would have been able to apply it better with my finger. Put a little bit on, couldn't really get the pigmentation and the intensity that I wanted. So I went in with a brush. I ended up having to spray my brush to really get anything on the eye. And as you can see from the demo, it's there, but I felt like I feel like it should look like this on the eye, and it's not looking like that on the eye. I feel like I barely see any kind of shimmer effect, metallic effect from this shade. This is obviously my first time using the palette, so I'm definitely gonna try it again when I take my nails off. You know, maybe I'll have a different response, but I would suggest, if you don't have long nails, use your finger or wet your brush to really pick up the product. There's a ton of fallout with this particular shade too, which was kind of irritating. Even after I sprayed my brush, I remember putting it on my eye and just immediately feeling it all over the face. It's all over my shirt. You all can't see it, but it's all over my shirt too. So I don't know, it's just the formulation feels a little more crumbly, and that wasn't my favorite. But the color of it, I mean, if I can get this color from this shade, I know I would love it, and I would like bypass all of the kind of cons of the shade. I think it's gorgeous. I just need to figure out how to best use it, and between the 3 types of ways that I tried to use it, it just didn't give me what I wanted. I think overall the look came together with this shade, just wasn't my favorite shade in the palette. And then lastly, for the very inner corner of the eye, I went in with Pink Mystique, and this was like butter. I mean, just, oh, butter. If I didn't have this highlight that Mother came out with, I would have definitely used this shade as a highlighter. I would have topped the apples of my cheeks with it. Like this shade right here and these 2 mattes, just gorgeous, just gorgeous. And then on the lower lash line, I went back in with Temptation and applied that to the lower lash line. Then I blended it out with Earthly Delight just to further blend it. And then for the inner corner, I went back in with Pink Mystique and just applied it for the inner corner and then right along here on the lower lash line. And that was my eye look. I think overall the eye look looks really, really pretty. I really like it. I'm actually going to take maternity pictures today, and I might just leave this whole look on because I actually really do like it. Like I said, my only qualm with this palette is that shade right there. Forbidden Fruit. Why did you give me such a struggle? I think if you're interested in the eyeshadow palette, I would say for me, because 3 out of the 4 shades are definitely winners, I definitely think this would be a really nice complementary palette to pick up if you're interested in it. The Risque Rose Quad that Mother came out with last year, the one shade that I wanted to compare to the shade Temptation is this shade right here called Rose Rebellion. It also has the creamy matte formula that is in this Eternal Eden palette. And I'm just gonna put that right there. And as you can see, those 2 pinks are definitely not identical. And the Risque Rose pink shade, Rose Rebellion, the one right here, definitely is more intense. Almost kind of looks more similar to the intensity of the pink on my lips. So I'm very excited that with this particular quad, we're getting new shades. We're not getting repeats of other shades that she has. And also, for the most part, formulation-wise, I really enjoy 3 out of 4 of the eyeshadows. Now onto the highlighter. So Mother said, y'all need another highlighter. And I said, I'll take it. I really will. So this highlighter is just gorgeous. Okay, so I love anything pink. If you've been around for a while, you kind of know that. So when I saw the packaging, I was like, yes. I also really like that the packaging is not as heavy as the packaging of this particular highlighter. Like, I like the weight of this. This makes me feel like it's a luxury product, but I also feel like I'm gonna hurt myself with this one day. Like, if I just clumsily like drop this, I'm breaking something. Whereas with this one, I like actually the lighter packaging and the lighter feel. It doesn't necessarily feel cheap, but it also doesn't feel so heavy as well. So this is Mother's Skin Fetish Ultra Glow Highlighter. It retails for $48. We get 10 grams of product in this highlighter, or 0.35 ounces. And so this particular highlighter is limited edition, and she says this is a gel powder hybrid formulation. The goal of this particular highlighter is to give you that wet type of glowy look. It's going to have iridescence and pearlescent pigments. So I have the highlighter on right here, and as you can see in the demonstration, this highlighter applies beautifully, seamlessly, effortlessly. Like, I am here for this highlighter all day long. I like that there's a hue of gold to this particular highlighter. So in swatching the highlighter, it's so beautiful. I love this pinky gold type of highlighter. Pinky golds are some of my favorite type of highlighters anyway. So this highlighter is just right up my alley. It's so smooth and pretty. I love that there's no glitter chunks or sparkly chunks in it. It's just a really beautiful, smooth formulation. And I would agree that it does leave a wet effect on the skin. I didn't spray my face with any type of setting spray, and so I feel like it blended so well into the skin. You know, sometimes with highlighters, you need to set your face so that you can help it blend a little better and not just sit like a streak on your face. And I don't feel like I had this issue at all with this highlighter. Now, comparing it to Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Skin Rose Illuminator in Champagne Gold, this particular highlighter retailed for $65, and it comes with 6.5 grams or 0.22 ounces of product. So actually, we get more product in the newer highlighter than in this one. Mother says has a golden champagne hue, and it's going to be a beautiful illuminator to the skin. So as you can see, we definitely have more of like that pinky gold highlighter look with the newer highlight. And then we do see more of that champagne gold pigmentation with the highlighter that she came out with over the holidays. I applied it on this side of the cheek. And although I like this highlighter, it's something about it that does not make me reach for it a lot. I don't know if it's the packaging, because like I said, I feel like I'm gonna break something. It might be the packaging. I think the highlighter is pretty, but I think it's not anything original. It's not anything like that you probably don't already have at home, especially if you love a really good champagne gold type of highlighter. I think it's beautiful. I think if you want it formulation wise, it blends smoothly into the skin. Once again, I didn't spray my face, and I feel like the highlighter looks really beautiful and meshed well into the skin. But I can already tell you that I'm going to reach for this highlighter much more than I would reach for this one. And I think it just comes down to, I like the formulation of this one just a little bit more than this one. This one definitely gives me just a smoother, wetter look on the skin. And I also like the color of this one. Not that I don't like the color of this one, but I really enjoy the color of this one. I also applied the Divine Rose highlighter down my T-zone, and I'm just here for all of this glow. Let me just say, like I said, both of these highlights I recommend. I think they're beautiful. I think it comes down to just preferences and price. I do know that this particular highlighter is sold out on Pat McGrath's website. So I don't know if she's going to be bringing this highlighter back. If she does, I would say, you know, sign up so you can get notified when it will come back. This particular highlighter and the actual full collection is available on Pat McGrath's website and also on Sephora's website. It just recently launched there. So if you want to pick those up from Sephora, then you definitely can. All in all, I'm very satisfied with these products, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think of the products that I used today and the eye look that I created. Let me know if you're interested in these products, or if you have them, let me know your thoughts. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for taking time and watching. If you have not subscribed already, come on and join the Glam Girl Squad. We'd love to have you. We are so excited to have you. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.